Okay, so welcome to PS Technology, guys. Thank you for joining. So this is S Khanam, and this is my profile. So I will be the trainer for AWS DevOps, right? So basically, DevOps batch we have started, and like classes has not yet started. Like demo session we have done. So two of the demo classes, the demo session has been completed. Okay, so no worries if you want to join for DevOps batch, you can stay connected because we're gonna have 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. AWS, and after that we will just take a quick 5 to 10 minutes break, and we will start the DevOps topics. Okay, so we will have the quick revision. What are the topics we have covered, and then we're gonna see some other new topics in the DevOps. Okay, so now coming to the AWS. So before that, you can go through my profile. If you have any basics questions or anything, just drop your questions in the chat box. I'm gonna take all those questions at the end. Okay. So this is about my profile. I will be the trainer, and according to like as per my roles, I have worked as senior cloud architect, and even I have worked for consultant. And like right now I have trained 1,000 plus of students, and they have successfully got placed. Right now, coming to the introduction part. Right, so as I can see, you guys have filled the registration form, so there is no need of introduction. I am very much aware of each and every student, right, whoever has joined. If you guys have not filled the registration form, you can just fill the registration form so that it will be easier for my team to get back to you. Okay, now the second point what I want to discuss, that will be expectations. Okay, so I understand you guys will have expectations like, why this course, right? Why I should enroll this course, right? And if suppose if you're gonna enroll for this course, like after this course, what will be the placement, whether they will be able to get the job or not, right? So before discussing all this point, I would like to mention that in market, if you check for the cloud or DevOps, if you check for the AWS, or if you talk about any cloud, AWS, Azure, GCP, right? And plus along with this cloud, if you add DevOps, okay, so this is the field where, if you're gonna showcase, or if you get some real experience, suppose if you get some real experience 3 years or 3.5 years, right? So keeping this experience or having this experience, this less number of experience, right, you will be earning very high pay scale, right? Very high pay scale if you talk about, because suppose if I talk about India in INR, suppose if I have 3.5 years of experience as an AWS DevOps engineer, right? So I can expect minimum LPA, that will be 12 LPA, minimum 12 to 15 LPA. It can go to the maximum 15 to 17 LPA. It depends on the company standards also, and it depends like for which company you are applying. Okay, so this is the field in the market where we're just having less number of years, you will be earning this much of high package, right? Because if you want to earn this high package 15 LP, 16 LP, at least you need some 7 to 8 years of experience, right? But DevOps right now, it is very much in high demand because of the tools, because of the automation tools. And right now, if you talk about cloud, right, there are several clouds, but out of all those cloud, AWS is the leading cloud service provider in the cloud market. Okay, even we're gonna see some of the surveys. I have taken the screen snapshot for you guys. I'm gonna share that with you. Okay, so now the very first topic, the today's agenda, what will be the agenda for today's class? Okay, so first we're gonna see what is server, and then we're gonna see what is cloud. Okay, because I'm starting this classes from very scratch, because I am very much aware that every student, like whoever joins for the class, it's not compulsory that they are belonging to IT companies or they have any IT background, right? because even I have switched, or even I have started my career from non-IT background. Okay, so no worries. I will be going with very very simple language. If you get any type of, like, if you're having any difficulties in understanding, please drop a text so that I can just cover those topics at the end. I can just give a revision on those topics at the end. Okay, so the very first thing, what is server? So what is server? Suppose if I talk about in very very simple terms, in very very simple terms, so a server is like a powerful computer, right? Or a special piece of software, special piece of software that stores and shares information, resources or services with other computers, right? It's a bit like the boss that provides what other computers need. For example, a web server. So what is a web server? So it's just like a computer that stores website pages and sends them to your internet browser whenever you visit that website. Okay, similarly I can call, like, I can tell a file server. So what is a file server? It is a computer that stores files and lets you and your colleagues across and shares those files like documents. Files means I'm talking about documents, pictures, images, any type of files, PDF files, text file, word files, any types of data storage type. Okay, so what is this server? Okay, so before coming to the server, first let me ask, what is laptop, what is computer, what is mobile, what is television? So guys, tell me, what are all these things? So you can call it's a electronic devices, right? So you must have seen this all devices. Even I can add here server. Even I can add the term that is server. So all this all devices, this all devices will have some common characteristic, or I can tell some common components. So what is that? The first is operating system. The first is operating system. The second is RAM. The third is CPU, processor, right? The fourth is memory, right? Every component, every here you can see laptop. Your laptop has operating system, RAM, CPU, processor or memory, right? Even your computer, if you have a laptop or if you have a desktop, right, or if you have a computer, even you'll be able to get, like, without this component you will not be able to run or you will not be able to use the computer, right? Even the mobile phone, the smartphone, the phone which right now is like, it's very very important thing in our life, right? Even this mobile will have this all component. The television. So what is this component? So this operating system, if we talk about, this is software programs, right? And what is this? So this, if I categorize, this are hardware. This are hardware components of a electronic device, right? So what is operating system? If you would have if you would have joined my Linux free workshop, right? I have covered this all these things. So let me go to the, yeah, so you can see in the very first class, in the very first workshop of free Linux program, I have covered what is operating system. What is operating system? Even I have discussed what is computer. So let me just cover those topic again, because I can understand that some people, they are very new to my classes. Okay, so no worries. Suppose this is your computer, okay, and you are the user. Okay, so your system, your computer has what? Hardware components, right? As I have discussed, hardware components like RAM, processor, and memory, right? So a user, how can a user will interact with this hardware? If there is no operating system, how can user will be able to interact with this three components? So only here comes operating system, OS, operating system. Okay, so we call operating system is the interface. Okay, so you can see operating system is the interface between user and computer hardware. So this is user, that is you and me, and this is computer hardware. Okay, so what is OS? It is the interface between computer hardware and user. Okay, what it does, because see right now if I have the laptop, right, if my laptop do not have operating system, will I be able to use my laptop? No, right? So I need operating system. So suppose I want to install PUBG, right? So on the top of this operating system I will be installing different application and I will be using those, right? So these are the application, these are the softwares, these are the packages what I will be installing on my laptop or computer, right? So right now operating system is a interface between user and hardware, computer hardware. Okay, and right now computer works on binary language, whereas human, we understand human language, right? So here suppose, tell me, if computer type, if computer type, suppose not computer, user types, suppose if user types that he wants to go for amazon.com. Okay, so right now see this is your laptop. Okay, so your laptop has hardware component. So this is hardware component. Okay, then on the top of hardware you have installed operating system. This is operating system. Okay, now suppose you have installed Google Chrome. You have installed Google Chrome or any application. Okay, or let me distinct guys. Okay, leave it, I'm gonna take some light color. Okay, so now suppose right now you have opened this browser. Okay, right now you have opened this browser. Let me go to my browser. Yeah, I have opened this browser, and here if I'm gonna type amazon.com, or let me type flipkart.com, right? What are this? See, flipkart.com, as soon as I type, I will be able to logged in into their website, right? So how did computer understand this? Because we are very much aware of the fact that computer doesn't understand human readable format. No, it just understand binary language. It just understand binary language. You must have learnt this in school, 0 and 1 format, right? Here suppose I have typed flipkart.com in Google Chrome. I have typed, right? Now as soon as I give this input, this is what, this is input, I have given the input to my system, and right now I am able to get the output. What is the output? I am able to get the Flipkart website, right? So how, what is the process running behind? So process is nothing, it's just operating system, it's just OS. So what it does, okay, what operating system does, whenever if you are running any application, you are using any application, and if you want or if you give any input, okay, then that application will be interacting with operating system. And operating system is the, you can assume it's an intermediate person who will be, who will be fetching the output for you. output for you. Okay, so basically what we can tell that OS, operating system, translates human language to machine language and vice versa. That means whenever you enter, whenever you give input, right, we used to give the input in human readable format, right? So operating system gonna translate this in computer language, in binary language, right? Similarly, whatever the output we are receiving, that will be initially, that will be in binary language. Initially, that will be in binary language, right? But we will not be able to understand those language, so operating system again it will convert this binary language into human readable format. So what is the main usage? It translates it translates human readable or human language to computer language, and it also, and vice versa, right? So let me note down the point for you. Operating system, the very first point, it is a interface between user and computer hardware. Okay, second point, it is or it act as a translator. What does it translate? It translate human language to machine language, and vice versa, right? That means machine language to human language. Okay, now we are clear with operating system. So now, why we are discussing this? Because we have a main topic, what is server. Okay, so server is nothing, you are able to see this laptop, computer, mobile, television. So same is the server, just usage is the different. So laptop you are using for studying, right? For studying, watching television, right, using social account, etc., right? Computer, we can have the same usage, right? Playing video games also is one of the usage, right? Similarly, mobile, here mobile mostly, what is the important feature? For calling purpose and using or surfing, right? Similarly, television, in television right now also we are able to surf the internet or watching movies or serials, right? But here server do not have this usage. Server, like we cannot use the server for calling purpose, we cannot use the server for playing video games, we cannot use the server, or we cannot just create a server to browse, to go for surfing, right? Server, the same thing, however, like whatever the component we have, software plus hardware, right? So here your system has what components? Software plus hardware, right? Similarly, this server also has the same architecture, software plus hardware configuration. But here the usage are different. What is the usage? The usage is different. Okay, now server is, you can, here you can see in simple term, a server is like a powerful computer. Powerful computer means, if I talk about, I can tell supercomputer. Did you heard this term supercomputer? What is this? So you can see supercomputer is a computer with high level of performance, right? High level of performance. And what else? So like if you have 500 number of computers, combining this all 500 number of computers, you will get one supercomputers, right? Right, any of a class of extremely powerful computers, That means it will have the fastest high performance, it will have the highest configuration, right? So many configuration. That means if I talk about supercomputer, if I talk about supercomputer, do you think supercomputer will have, suppose if my laptop, right now I have laptop, so I have, suppose ram, I have ram, suppose 8 GB, okay, and memory I have 256 GB, okay. So you can see ram, operating system I have window, what else, processor I have also CPU, one CPU processor, okay. But if you talk about supercomputer, supercomputer has 100 GB ram, 100 GB memory, and if you talk about a processor, it is equivalent to 100 CPU processor, CPU or processor, equivalent, okay. That means server or server is nothing but a supercomputer, combination of 100, 500,000 numbers of computers. If you go for the image, you will see this is called supercomputer. Collection of or combination. Here, suppose I'm gonna add 500. This is one computer. I'm gonna add all those 500 computers, and it will be a supercomputer. Okay. So right now, I hope everyone is clear about what is server. Server, just the same component what we have, they're also same component, but the usage is different, the capacity is different. If here if you have ram 4 GB or 8 GB or 16 GB, in supercomputer or in server, we will be dealing with 128 GB or 100 GB, like, right? High performance, very very high configuration will be there, okay. So this is server, okay. So we're gonna have different types of server: web server, file server, so many database servers, and etc. Okay. Now server is cleared. Now what is cloud? So in simple terms, the cloud refers to the internet. Suppose you can see, what is this? Here I have the content. Let me duplicate this. Yeah, so basically what is this? So you can see this is the folder. If I go for the drive, this is my drive, and here I will be able to get so many folders. What exactly this is? So here, this is the drive where we used to upload the contents. Contents means study material, live recordings, classes, whatever, how many batches we have taken, everything we gonna upload it here, right? So this is Google Drive, okay. This is Google Drive, everyone knows about this, right? So now tell me, why I am using Google Drive? Why can't I use my own storage? Or I can tell, like, why can't I use my own physical storage? Physical storage, physical storage, like example, I can store these files on my laptop, right? I can store the files on my laptop. I can have this sets of data in my pen drive, right? In my pen drive. Even I can have this in my disk, right? Hard disk, right? So why I am preferring Google Drive? So let me tell you, Google Drive is a cloud storage, cloud storage owned by Google, right? So tell me, what will be the advantage if I am preferring this over this? What will be the advantage? Suppose right now, you can see, if you see the data what we have, 116 GB, 116 GB sets of data I have uploaded in the drive. Right now, suppose if I stored this in my laptop or in my pen drive. First of all, I will be needing this high storage, right? If I have my laptop, like to store this 116 GB of data, I should be sure that I have this availability, right? I have this storage available on my laptop or on my computer, right? Or suppose if I have purchased a hard disk, I should be aware that this hard disk should be able to carry this much of data, right? Or if I am purchasing pen drive, I should be aware that this much, that should be the capacity of holding the data, right? So suppose I have stored this on my laptop, right? So suppose if my laptop, the storage is just, suppose if you talk about 128 GB, okay? And out of 128 GB, I have consumed 116 GB I have consumed, right? So do you think in future I will be able to store more of the application or the softwares? No, it will be very difficult, right? So what will happen in future if I'm gonna, if I'm gonna, or if I want to have more content, or if I want to have to store more data on my laptop, what will be the result? The result will be my system will be, it will give slow performance, it will start getting hang, right? Because storage will be full. Because anyhow, the, as a user, whatever, like what is the operating system that we use, that will be window operating system, right? Why? Because it's a GUI mode, graphical user interface, right? So I have covered this, what is the difference between window and Linux, right, in my Linux workshop. So Linux basically is TUI mode, text user interface, text user interface, and here graphical user interface, right? So graphical user interface means basically all the thing will be graphic, all graphics will be there, right? All graphics here. I will not be able to get graphical like UI. What I will be able to get, I have to enter the, I have to write the text, and task will be done. I have to use the syntax, okay? So if I'm using window, so it's a graphical user mode, okay? So whenever if you go for the graphics, whenever you, if you go for the graphics, operating system will consume more storage, operating system will consume more storage, okay? So let me open my task manager, let me show you. So you can see 95% of memory is in use, right? That means whenever if you go for the graphics, your storage, your 80%, your 90% of the storage will be taken by OS, okay? So do you think it will be possible for me to keep this data, this high data in my laptop, and I can use this laptop for my future purpose, or five, or for my any of the requirement? No, right? It will be very very slow, and the, like I will be able to get poor performance, right? This is the one point, I will be able to get poor performance. So let me write the point: advantage of Google Drive over physical storage. Okay, the first will be slow performance, or disadvantage. I have written, just a second, let me just, disadvantage of physical storage over G Drive, Google Drive. Okay, the first one, slow performance, the load will be more, right? Loads will be more. The second one, So if the data is in my personal space, if the data is in my personal laptop, tell me how will I be able to share with my students? That means no sharing. No sharing is possible, right? If I want to share, I can ask them to come to take the pen drive or to copy those datas into their pen drive and go, right? That means sharing will be very, very difficult, right? And I will not be able to access from anywhere. Like I will be able to access from anywhere, but what will be the requirement? What will be the condition? I have to carry my laptop everywhere, right? I have to carry my laptop everywhere. Okay, because if I do not have laptop, I will not have that those sets of file, right? If I need, suppose if somewhere I have gone and I need some important data or some important docs, and if I do not have my laptop, will I be able to get those document? No, right? But when I go for Google Drive, the very first thing, performance will be constant. Performance will be constant. So you can see, when I have used 100 GB, even if I'm gonna use 200 GB, the performance will not get affect, right? The second information, I can share this data with my student. Sharing is possible, okay? And I will be able to access this from anywhere, anywhere, anytime. What I need, I just need internet, that's it. I just need internet. And most important thing, you should have the account, right? If I am using Google Drive, anyhow, I need to have my Gmail account. Then only I will be able to use this. So here, what Google says? Google says, come and create the account, and you will be able to get all this. You will be able to get all these services, right? This many services you will be able to get. Okay, so suppose if I'm using Google Drive 10 GB, storage is free. Storage is free. If I want more, I have to purchase, right? So this is basically nothing, it's a storage in the cloud. That means I am storing my data, right? But I do not know that this datas are getting stored on which server, whether it's in Mumbai server, whether it's in New York server, whether it's in USA server, or what is the location. I do not know the location of my servers, because the thing what I this the data I am sharing, right? So it must be getting upload, suppose AWS or suppose Google Drive. This is a Google Drive. Okay, so Google Drive means what? Basically physical, they will have physical data centers. They will have physical data centers all around the world. They tells, come create the account, create Google account, and use the storage. This server will be a database. This server will act as a file storage. Okay, so basically suppose you have created one, suppose you have created the account. Okay, you have uploaded your data. Okay, so basically your data will be uploaded here. Similarly, I am using, my data will be uploaded here. Any other person, any other user, they will be using, they will, their data will be uploaded here, anywhere, no one knows. And this server, this all is what, this all are combination or servers. This is a server, this is a server, this is a server, this is a server. Maybe this will be in Mumbai, maybe this will be in Ohio, maybe this will be in California. Maybe this will be in some US, right? So basically I have to just come and use the service. What service? Storage service, right? Storage service. But where my datas are getting stored, I do not know. The location is not defined, right? The location is not defined. Do you think in Google Drive you have a location option? Are you able to see any location option? No, right? Google do not have location. Means they are not giving you the option that select Mumbai, that you want to store your files in Mumbai, right? Or select Ohio. Or if you want to store the files, or if you want to use the storage service of California, select the location California, right? This feature is not enabled in Google Drive, or you can call this feature is not enabled in Google Cloud, right? But AWS has these features. Okay, so what basically means, it means whatever the service you will receive in your physical storage, in your physical storage. Okay, even cloud storage will have that services, and plus it will be more flexible. More flexible means, suppose I need 10 GB, in future I may need 100 GB, in future I need 500 GB, right? More flexible, and you will be able to use from anywhere, from any, like anywhere, anytime. Okay, what will be the need? The need is internet. The need will be only internet. If you do not have internet, you will not be able to access. Okay, and here, with the use of cloud, if you're using cloud, you have to pay as you go model. Pay as you go model means if you're using, then you have to pay. If you're not using, you don't have to pay, right? But here, suppose, so this is like difference. I hope the difference is very clear between physical and cloud, or you can call cloud as virtual, right? So you can like correlate the scenarios during the time of COVID, right? So suppose like if I am working, so that time, like basically in our offices, in our working time, we used to have a physical meet, right? But the time when COVID was there, we were everyone was working from home, right? So we used to have online meet, that's called virtual meet, right? The same scenario applies here. Okay, so now what is cloud? Cloud means somewhere, we do not know exactly where. Okay, somewhere. Okay, so this is what is cloud. Okay, so what is cloud? It is done. Or let me take one scenario. Okay, just a second. Suppose if you go back, if you go back 20 years back, 20 years back, or just take 10 years back, 15 years back, not 10 years, 15 years back. Okay, so 20 years or 15 years back, what exactly organizations or companies they does? What organization or companies they does, right? So basically, suppose if a company has to host e-commerce website, okay, or he, like some company, they want to start a small business where they need a website, just like this Flipkart. Okay, selling different products, right? So what is the first step they're gonna do? They will go and purchase the servers. They will go and purchase servers. Here, what servers I'm talking about? I'm talking about physical servers. They will go and purchase physical servers. Okay, suppose from IBM, that time IBM was there, IBM or HP. Okay, they will go and they will purchase the servers. Okay, suppose they have purchased the server, one server they have purchased. Okay, and suppose 10 lakh was the investment, INR. Okay, so this I'm talking about capital expenditure. There will be two types of expenditure: capital and operational expenditure. That means capex plus opex. If you want to create your business, if you want to start a business, you should have two types of, you should have two types of investment. The first, capital expenditure. That means to set up your business, you need to purchase, right? Purchase the servers, then networking things, right? And then to operate, to maintain the operation, you need some amount of investment. Okay, so suppose I have purchased the server, and now I need to configure, I need to connect so many wires, right? I need to connect so many wires, a lot of wires for the servers I need to connect. And then after connecting, I have to connect this servers with my own network, with my own network. Okay, and then I have to set a particular temperature. I have to set a particular temperature, right? Because server has to be kept in a right temperature. In a right temperature, you should have air conditioning also, right? And then to to monitor this servers, to monitor this servers, I need a team. I need a team who will be monitoring 24 by 7. Who will be monitoring 24 by 7, right? And apart from this, so apart from purchasing server, I need this many investment. That means 24 by 7 electricity also needed. I cannot stop my server. So 24/7 electricity I needed. I need a location. Where can I set my server, right? So these things are there. Yes, guys, just a second. To set up my server, I need a location, right? A proper place. Okay. So this all thing is the requirement. Okay. Now suppose I have bought a server. I have bought a server. This is my server. And the configuration, if I talk about, suppose this is Linux operating system. Okay. And it has 100 GB RAM. It has 100 GB storage or memory. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Okay, now I have to run an application. Suppose I have created my application. Suppose example.com. Just a second. Example.com. Okay, this is my website. This is my application. So this example.com website, it will just consume 10 GB of RAM and 10 GB of memory. Okay, so I have purchased a supercomputer. I have purchased a supercomputer, and right now I will be running my application above this, right? So this supercomputer will have a hardware component, and also it will have software component, right? Okay, on the top of this I'm going to run the application. Now tell me, I have the configuration this, and I'm just using this server only for an application that is 10 GB RAM and 10 GB of storage. So the remaining the remaining 90 GB of RAM and 90 GB of storage will be a waste, right? It's a wastage because I told you servers has very high configurations, right? And if I want to deploy my application, and that application just consumes 10 GB RAM and 10 GB of memory, so what about 90 GB of RAM, 90 GB of storage? It will be waste for me, right? It will be a loss for me. Suppose I then in future, if I come up with other websites, I cannot use that on the same server, right? So I'm talking about this traditional servers which we used to use 15 years back. Okay, so after this approach, after this disadvantage of traditional servers, one advanced features came that is known as virtualization. What was that? Okay, so virtualization means it is a concept where you will solve the problem of wasting resources. That means this was the concept concept of solving solving the problem, because this was the wastage, right? This was the wastage of resources, right? Because I do not need that much, but still I have to buy a server because minimum configuration will be this much. You cannot go for the market and you cannot ask, give me a server of 10 GB or 10 GB RAM or 10 GB storage. No, this is the minimum configuration of your server. Okay, so this was the wastage, and due to this wastage a new concept came to the market, and that was known as virtualization. Okay, so what is that? That is a concept where you will solve the problem of wasting resources on a server. So what was virtualization? So virtualization, this is your server, or even you can use your computer or laptop. Okay, suppose this is your computer and this is hardware, this is OS. Suppose I want to use virtualization. Okay, so now what I will be doing with the use of virtualization, I will be creating a virtual machine. I will be creating a virtual machine. Suppose if I install, this is my laptop, this is server, right? So if I install virtualization here, it will start creating a virtual layer. Okay, this is virtualization. Okay, so as soon as I install this on my laptop, what I will be doing, I can run multiple application in the same system. See, earlier we were buying the servers, right? We were buying the servers, but on the top of this servers, we 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 were bound to run a single application. We cannot use this server for multiple application. We cannot use this server for multiple purpose, for multiple usage. No, if you want to run an application, you have to deploy it on a server. If you want to run one more application, you have to go and purchase the server, and again you have to deploy it other application on that. That means I was bound to run a single application on a server. If in future, if I need more, if I have created or if I have launched one more website, then again I have to buy one more servers. Again I will be needing heavy investment. Okay, so to to overcome this virtualization concept came into the market. So virtualization, if you have installed virtualization software or application, it will allow you to use or to install multiple application on a single operating system. Or you can call, not operating system, you can call, you will be able to run multiple application on the same system. Suppose this is my window laptop. This is my window laptop. Okay, so here I can deploy one application. Suppose here I have deployed PUBG. It is using, suppose assume it is using Linux OS. Okay, here I will be able to use other application, some other application, and that is using CentOS app, this operating system. Similarly, here I'm using some application 3, and that is using Ubuntu. Here I'm using some Microsoft usage, Microsoft application some, and here I need Window operating system. Okay, so that means in a single system, in a single server, you will be able to deploy different application along with different operating system. So this was the concept of virtualization. But again, this concept also had the drawback. What was the drawback? That means the drawback was, suppose right now your system, your computer has 128 GB of storage. Okay, 128 GB of storage, and suppose 8 GB of RAM. Okay, so suppose if I have deployed this PUBG application, and this application uses 4 GB RAM. Okay, 4 GB RAM, and some like something around, Hmm, let me take some 16 GB. 16 GB of storage memory. Okay. So 4 GB RAM, it got consumed here. Okay. What is the remaining I have? I have 4 GB RAM remaining. I will be left over. So 4 GB RAM has been used by application A. This is application A. Okay. App 1. You can call app 1. So again, suppose the second application also need 4 GB RAM. So suppose 4 GB RAM it has taken. That means I will have a limited things, because the whole, whatever the multiple application you will be running, whatever the application you will be running, it will consume your resources. That means this RAM, this GB, it will be consumed from your system, from your laptop, from your computer resources, it gonna consume. So you can see 4 GB RAM used here and 4 GB RAM used here. Right now I don't have any RAM left, right? So I will not be able to use any other application. If I want to use, I have to delete this, I have to terminate this. Then in place of this, I'm going to use some other application. That means the resources was taken from your own resources, from your own system, right? So this was the disadvantage, right? So because of this reason cloud came. Cloud tells that whatever the number of application you want to run, you can come and use, and even if you want, according to your requirement, you can expand the configuration. That means Suppose I have purchased 128 GB storage, 8 GB of RAM. In future, if I need 200 GB of storage, I can expand that. I can expand that. That means I can scale up and I can scale down. Okay, I can scale up and I can scale down. So what was the doubt, guys? Just a second. What is this, guys? Do not share anything, please. Okay, no worries. Okay, guys, so right now the time is done. I have to wrap this. So let me show you what are the topics we have discussed, right? Because right now I have DevOps class. So if you guys want to continue DevOps class, you are welcome. Okay. So what we have discussed, what is server, what is cloud, we have seen, and this public versus private cloud. So private cloud means it will be designed, it will be dedicated for my organizations only. Public cloud means you can talk about Google Drive. Okay. Why is public cloud so popular and all this topic I'm gonna cover tomorrow. Okay. So stay connected. If you have not joined our Telegram group, you can join that, because this demo session, this will be continue till 28 October. That is today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay. From Monday onwards, we're gonna lock the batch. That means whoever enroll for the program, they will only be allowed to attend from Monday. Okay. Just a second, guys. Okay. So this will be the tomorrow's topic. Let me write it down here. This will be tomorrow's topic. Okay.